There's a lot of things that go on a farm that you simply can't control. A lot of it is, really simple, quick fixes. Today we're running into one that, well, it's a little more serious. So welcome back to the farm, guys. This morning I was over here doing the chores, feeding and watering the pigs, and I actually, of course of all days, I wanted to finally get our sheep all together. I was going to give them a few days in the small corral just to kind of acclimate together, and I couldn't find 3 of them. So that puts us where we're at right now. Got the little one on my back, little man's inside taking a nap, and we got to move quickly here. But I'm missing 3 sheep. We are missing our newest of mothers, our ewe lammy, and our 2 new lambs, which I shouldn't say new lambs at this point. They are a couple months old. They're growing very quickly, but the odd thing is I don't hear a peep. I did get the other 3 integrated with the newer sheep, so we got 3 in there already, but I got to find these 3. These are the days that really make it stressful for you. Like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of things that happen that definitely are not as planned, but most of the time it's just a quick fix or something that can be fixed with time. Losing animals is something that is pretty much irreplaceable because it takes a long time to kind of get back to where you were.
Daddy,
What, honey?
can you say what's on the camera?
Yeah, I can that. I mean, obviously you could just go out and buy animals if you really wanted to, but sheep are expensive, guys. They're, $200-300 a piece. So losing 3 of them, that's a pretty penny. So you can tell, definitely a little worried about it. Let's see what we can find. So first thing I wanted to do is get out here on the very end of the pasture. They're not even really over here much. So I'm kind of just looking for signs, and I'm not really seeing anything. You can see some grass trampled down in here, but I highly doubt they went through the fence. If anything, my fear would be that something got in the fence. We do have a pretty good charge on this. And the hopes would be that they're just bedded down right now. This part of the day, a lot of times that's what they'll do. But usually I have an idea about where they would be. A lot of this stuff is grown up. Pasture is very large. So we got a search party going on. But it's really not that hot today. So I would think they'd be out grazing away. We'll see. We're gonna climb the fence now. And we're gonna pick the most likely place because I always see them down here right next to the pigs. And there's always there's a big stick here on our fence. There's always a worst case scenario when you do stuff like this, which is what you don't want to run into. Eyes always got to be on the lookout. And if you start seeing some hair or something like that, that's when you got a problem. Fortunately, I don't see anything like that in here. Oh, we gotta get through this inkberry, okay? You good? And guys, this is what we're up against. I don't know if you can see on the camera. This stuff is so thick, but they have little trails kind of worn down through here where they can get low and just crawl under this underbrush. When it rains, that's where you're gonna see them a lot. So I'm not getting in there. There's no way I can crawl through that. So we just gotta hope. And look at that. That was a quick scare, but needless to say, it was a scare. For some reason, they were separated. They came from way up in the opposite corner, so I was way off on my search. But anytime you're missing animals, for some reason for me, anytime you're missing lambs as well, I don't know, it leads you to believe there could be an issue because they're a little more fragile. Can't help themselves as much. But we got our little girl right here. She's back. Now we're gonna get them in. You can see the other guys are over here already. So I know it was a bit of a false alarm, guys, but hey, we got them. What do you think? You ready to go with your friends? You ready to go with your friends? All right, so let's open up the gate and we'll get these guys in here. This is a high security fence right here, just a rope around this. Does the job. Come on, sheep. 1 to go. Come on, girl. All right, and there they go. You guys can see our newer sheep way down there. You see Mary back there. We'll see how this goes. We want to integrate them for a little bit. Probably give them like 2-3 days just to kind of get used to each other. And then we'll let them back out here on the larger pasture. There's still a lot of grass in here. We've actually gotten some rain in the last couple days, so finally got some growth back. So while we have you here, figure we might as well show you. We just mowed off this pasture. It was extremely high. A lot of it had gone to seed. The sheep will eat a lot of that stuff. They're just going to be very selective, and it's going to leave it very patchy throughout. So our thought process was mow it high. The timing worked really, really well. We actually got some rain. Hopefully it kind of sparks some new growth back up, and then we'll get them back out here for another round of grazing. The problem we're running into now is, you know, it's just been so dry that we got to hope that we do get new growth. We still have the new pasture, which is actually starting to green up now since we cut a bunch of hay off of it. You know, these last couple days we got just enough rain to get that growth going back. So I'm hoping next weekend I'll get them over there, and then we'll let them on there. We'll rotate them around. That is about 5 acres, so it'll take a while. And then hopefully this stuff that we just cut off comes back. We'll get them over here for fall, and then maybe back over to the new side right at the beginning of winter, end of fall, and then back here. I know it's a lot of moving, but back here then for winter. I like to keep them here for winter just because it's closer to the house. It's going to be safer. Obviously the days aren't as long, and that's when we run into issues. So that's the plan. As you guys saw,
I want them to stay out here because there's lots of grass out here.
there is lots of grass, and that is a good point, Bray. This is their old winter pasture, and look how green this is compared to the rest. The manure load was ridiculous in here because it was, you know, admittedly it was overgrazed, but now, you know, all that nitrogen that kicks in. Nice green grass. The sheep were kind of in here, but I didn't want them in here too much. Obviously we want that cycle to break completely before we cut them loose again.
Daddy.
What, honey?
And this is Daisy's home too.
Yes, and as she's reminding me, this is Daisy's home. This is where Daisy was born, and that's exactly what we want. The closest pasture to the house, keep her safe. But you guys saw it in the beginning, not everything here goes as planned. So false alarm on me, the sheep were not really missing, but hopefully you guys do understand when you lose 3 animals, it's definitely a bit alarming, especially because I did not hear a peep out of them, which is very odd. Usually when they separate, the sheep are gonna start going crazy and they'll quickly find each other, but not today. Good thing they were just at the top of the pasture. Maybe they couldn't hear me when I came over. That's another thing. Usually when I'm in the area, they're gonna come running right away anyway. So sheep are very curious. They're always interested in what's going on, but it's aside from the point. They're all here. They're all in the new corral. They're all safe. We'll leave them there for about 2-3 days, like I said, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, all is good. If you like what we're doing, as always, please consider giving us a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button. As always, drop us some questions, comments. Always interested in hearing from you. You got anything to add?
Thank you for listening.
And thank you for watching us, guys. Take care.